Hey guys, what's up? So Kai is actually asleep behind me, so I'm going to try and be as quiet as I possibly can and film this as fast as I can because I have other videos to do today. I'm not really liking this eye makeup if you are curious. But anyways, I wanted to go ahead and rank my 6-pan palettes for you guys, and I really sat and I thought about it, and I did not factor in price. I just factored in color story and quality. So I have, hang on. Okay, I have 11 6-pans, so let's go ahead and get into it. Number 11, so this is the worst 6-pan I think I own. It is going to be the Maybelline City Mini Palette in Rooftop Bronzes. So this actually is not a bad palette. I am going to swatch all of these for you guys today, but it's not a bad palette. It's really pretty. Like, the formulation itself is fine. I just don't find myself reaching for this unless I force myself to. I don't find myself ever reaching for this palette unless I force myself to use it. It's a okay formula. Like, the City Mini formula is not that bad. It's just, you guys probably know by now. Like, that's a good quality. Like, that's good swatches for drugstore. You guys probably know by now how I feel about all shimmer palettes, and that is what this is, an all shimmer palette. And I think that is why it's ranking so low for me, is because I just don't find myself using it that much. It's all shimmer. It's not a one and done palette. Okay, number 10 is going to be another Maybelline City Mini palette. I own a lot of these. It is the Skyscape Dusk palette. This is the exact opposite of the other palette. It is an all matte palette. The problem I have with this palette is it's extremely light. Like, yes, it's still a great quality. A little powder on the powdery side. Honestly, it kind of looks like I could have used this today to make this look a little bit better. I didn't use this palette, but it's just like a little dust. It's quite dusty, and you're gonna really have to, you're gonna have to dive into another palette because of how light this is. Like, that's the darkest shade you're getting. You can see on my skin tone, even though I do have a bunch of lights on, like, look at how dark, light this is. Like, it's so light. It's really light, and that's why it's ranking so low. Okay, number 9 might shock a lot of people, and it's going to be the Urban Decay Naked Basics 2 palette. I want to get the other Naked Basics palettes. I actually have Urban Decay open on my computer because I know I want to purchase from it, and I have all the Naked Mini 3 and all the other Naked Minis that they released. Like, they have a Naked Sin, a Naked Half Bake, and a Naked Virgin, I think is what it was. I don't know. But they had 3 more of these that they released. I have them in my cart. I want to purchase them. But this palette, I have the same issues as I have with the Maybelline one, and it's just that it's light. It's so light. And honestly, the Maybelline one seems more pigmented, which you can see how light this is. Like, I should love this considering the fact that I love cool tones. Like, cool tones are my style right now. So I thought I would love this and I would reach for it all the time, but when I got it, I was so underwhelmed at how light this palette is, and I just can't do that many looks with just this palette, which is what I was hoping for. Okay, number 8 is another Maybelline City Mini palette. It's one that's fairly new to my collection. It is Posh Inspirer. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with this palette, in my opinion. It's just kind of a little dark for me. I think that it is more suited towards darker skin tones, which is why I'm probably going to declutter this soon and give it to my mommy from work, my beautiful mommy, who is a beautiful woman of color. Well, she's my actual biological mother's best friend, but she's a beautiful woman of color. She does not spoil herself, so I love giving her makeup like this. I think that she'll love this and she'll get way more use out of it than I will. Okay, and I just want you guys to know I'm not decluttering it yet. I'll probably declutter in my next declutter, which is going to be in about 2 months. So number 7 is my Maybelline City Mini Palette in Electric NoHo. So again, there's nothing wrong with this. This is where we're starting to get into the better ones that I like more, that I reach more for. I just find that the colors in here aren't really up to par with my expectation of color. Like, these palettes are very powdery. I do want you guys to know that. I mean, like, that's purple is really pretty, but it's not punchy like this one, like in the pan. And it has this really pretty gold, which Maybelline's City Mini palettes, can do golds. I'm not gonna lie about that. That blue is one of the reasons I got this palette, and it was just so underwhelming. And I think that that's why it's where it is, but I do use this palette a lot because of that blue. It's just not what I wanted it. I wanted it to be more punchy, and it's just not there. I mean, I can do a second swatch for you guys. See, it's just like, it's not there. Okay, number 6 is going to be the Maybelline City Mini Palette in Rising Star. So I put this where it is because of the fact that there are 2 blacks pretty much in this palette and no other matte browns. I really like this palette. I just don't feel like it is very smartly coordinated for the everyday person, because I feel like you need a couple of browns if you are going to use a palette like this, because I feel like the outer corner is going to have the black, like you're going to have that dimension, and I just don't feel like this is a everyday palette for everybody. And you can see from the swatches it's very cohesive to one kind of a look. Okay, so my number 5 palette is the Maybelline City Mini palette in Frosted Visionary. So again, I'm having issues with the fact that I don't think that this is a complete palette, because I feel like you need a little bit more lighter shades. Like, I'll show you in the swatches. So yes, you have some really pretty browns, and that is so powdery. You can see how powdery it is, but I feel like you need a little bit more brown, like lighter browns to work with in this palette, but it is a really, really good palette. That's my only qualm, is that I always find myself reaching for other lighter browns to kind of cohesively go with this palette, because this shade and this shade, like, you need something in between those, because typically what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the lid with this, I'm going to do that as a transition shade, go in with another brown, and then go in with this, and then have that on the defining outer corner, and then I'll have maybe this shimmer and this shimmer haloed, or maybe I'll just go with the one shimmer. That's just how I prefer to use this palette. I just feel like that palette is incomplete, which is why it ranked where it ranked. So now let's go on to number 4, and it is the City Mini palette that you can no longer get, and it is with Shayla. This is a stunning palette. For the longest time, this was my favorite mini 6-pan palette, but I also didn't have that many 6-pans. I actually just recently expanded my collection. This is such a nice palette. You can see it is well loved, well used. I have it ranking where I have it ranking though, because even though I love using this palette and I love the looks I create with this palette, I still find myself reaching into other palettes to create a look, because I don't feel like there is enough cohesive shades to create a whole look. I can't go into my crease with that as a transition shade. I can't do that. Okay, my number 3 palette is the Maybelline City Mini in Sunset, or no, it's High Rise Sunset. I'm sorry, it's High Rise Sunset. So this is honestly a great companion palette to maybe the Natasha Denona Sunset or Sunrise palette. This is definitely inspired by the Natasha Denona Sunset palette. It is all matte and it is nice. So yes, they are extremely powdery, which I'm sure you can see how powdery they are. The mattes in all the City Minis are powdery like this, but look at that pigmentation. Look at that. If you like matte warm tones, which are just not for me in my personal life, but in my YouTube life, hell yes. But if you like matte warm tones, this is perfect for you. It really is. It's so cheap and it's such a good formula. Okay, I did not factor in any kind of money or pricing. So my number 2 palette is the Charlotte Tilbury Charlotte Darling palette. So I keep it in the packaging because I need to feel like I got my money's worth, because I did not get my money's worth with this palette. I actually compared this to the Instant Eyes Pillow Talk palette, and I thought that they were very similar, this was a mini version of it, but it's not. This is a very pretty palette. You can get a lot of very pretty looks with it. It's just Charlotte's eyeshadow formula. It's nothing special. It's just something that is got her name attached to it, but it is buttery smooth. It's a good formula. It's just nothing special. And I found that most of Charlotte's palettes tend to look like this, so yeah. Right, and my number one palette is the Maybelline City Mini Diamond District. So on top of the fact that I adore diamonds because it's my birthstone, this is the perfect palette for me to use in my personal life because it's literally got everything I need. Like, it has everything I need. I literally can go in with this shade and set the eyelid. I usually put that under the brow bone also. I can go in with this as a transition shade. I can define the outer corner with that. I will go in with this shimmer. I can go in with this shimmer on the lid and it is stunning. Put this in the crease and I can line with that. Like, it's a perfect palette for me. It's literally perfect for every day. I love it, and that's why I have it in my number one spot. Alright, so that was me ranking my 6 pans. I do plan to do this with my 5 pans, my 4 pans, and my 3 pans also. I don't know if I'll film that today. Probably not, because I don't like having the same makeup for related videos like that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, all the social media great stuff. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye guys!